Good one, Paul in California. Varney at foxbusiness.com. That's how you reach us. Now, totally different subject. Yesterday, we talked to Father Jonathan Morris about Delta Airlines' controversial partnership with Saudi Arabian Airlines. We thought the father was fired up. Then we read your emails. Here's one. We're about to fly to California and we'll boycott Delta Air, even if they are cheaper to fly. If Americans join in and boycott them, they will change their policy in a heartbeat. It's always about the money. That was from Mike in Oklahoma. Joining us now is Zuhdi Jasser. He is the head of the American Islam Forum for Democracy, live with us from Phoenix. Doctor, it's always a pleasure to have you with us, and we appreciate you being here again today. What do you think about Delta's agreement and its business relationship and partnership with Saudi Arabian Airlines?
I can't tell you how important this issue is, because the economic complicity of the world, and especially the free market with Saudi Arabia, has facilitated the continued oppression of their people. The President's Commission on Religious Freedom has named Saudi Arabia repeatedly as one of the worst offenders of religious freedom. Christians, non-Muslims can't take in Bibles, can't take in books. Moderate Muslim reformers can't take in reformist moderate interpretations. And yet Delta enters this agreement because it's basically about the bottom line. We see Saudi influence in universities to the tunes of millions of dollars, and other types of infiltration they use economically just in order to launder their image. And I'd ask people to think about South Africa. How do we change apartheid there? It was through economic pressures. And if we're going to change Saudi Arabia and have reformists like us speak up, we need the pressure and to isolate the kingdom.
If I have, for example, if I had a Jewish last name, identifiably a Jewish last name, could I get on a Saudi Arabian Airlines jet and fly straight to Riyadh? Could I do that?
You know, my answer to you would be, I don't think you can. I think there'd be a filter. Their answer would be that they don't discriminate. In 2004, their Saudi tourism website had lists of qualifications for a visa. Everybody needs a visa to get into Saudi Arabia. And one of the things said you can't have an Israeli stamp, and another one said Jewish people. When we exposed that, they took it off their website. But at the end of the day, Stuart, Mecca, for example, doesn't let anybody non-Muslim go in there. Well, if you're going to have one of the largest cities in Saudi Arabia not allow non-Muslims in, you have to know what faith they are, and thus they discriminate against Muslims and non-Muslims as a result.
Dr. Jasser, then I've got two questions for you. First question, do you favor a boycott of Delta to break up its relationship with Saudi Arabian Airlines? Answer that first question, if you would.
I do. I mean, I'll tell you, I can't think how... I think we should boycott any companies that facilitate petrodollars and the spread of economic jihad of the Saudis, and they're corrupt. And if you want to moderate Islam, think about Al-Qaeda. 15 of the hijackers came from Saudi Arabia, and we still haven't changed that ideology. So definitely we need to boycott any companies that facilitate that ideology and the Saudis.
How many American Muslims want a truly pluralistic Saudi Arabia?
I'll tell you, my family and I think the vast majority of Muslims want that change. Now, unfortunately, many of the groups that claim to speak for our community are either in bed with them or politically attached, so they won't say anything because they're taking, donations and other things, so they're compromised. But I think ultimately, every one of our families are here in America because we want religious freedom. We escape the oppression of those types of societies, and we want to stand for the types of principles that our Constitution stands for. And the Arab Spring and the changes across the Middle East show, I think, that the majority of Muslims want those changes. We saw recently Saudi women asking to drive, asking no longer to have male chaperones. And there's a yearning for those changes. And we need to help those people and not facilitate their oppressors.
Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, it's always a pleasure to have you with us on this program. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Thank you, sir.
Nice to be with you. Thanks, Stuart.
I'm going to show you the Dow Industrials up now 114 points.